Look at this, a horse in a pen with a sign that says USDA beef. That is not a mistake, that is a label. And in 2013, the USDA confirmed that horse meat was being processed, labeled, and sold as beef in the United States. But here is the thing, you probably never heard about it. While Europe was making headlines, the US quietly had its own version of the same scandal. And it proved one thing. The system designed to protect you was never built to tell you the truth. In 2013, Europe was hit with a scandal that shook the entire food industry. DNA testing revealed that frozen beef products, burgers, lasagna, ready meals, were being sold with a secret ingredient. Horse, not a trace, not a contamination. Up to 100% horse meat, labeled as beef. But here is what the headlines didn't tell you. While Europe was reeling, the United States had its own version of the same story. The USDA confirmed that horses slaughtered for human consumption were being processed, labeled, and sold as 100% beef through unregulated supply chains. Now, I don't say that lightly. I don't make claims without evidence. The USDA confirmed it. The New York Times reported it. Congress even held a hearing on it. And in 2014, the USDA quietly issued a new rule requiring traceability for horse meat, essentially admitting the system had failed. I've linked all of those sources in the description below, so you can verify every single claim for yourself. Because on this channel, we don't just tell you what happened. We show you the receipts. Let me be clear, horse meat is not dangerous to eat. That is not the story. The story is about the label. The label said beef, and it wasn't beef. That is a betrayal of trust. Now, I want you to think about the system that allowed this to happen. In 1906, Upton Sinclair exposed diseased meat in the Chicago stockyards. We shared this information with you in our last video called The Meat Scandal That Still Haunts Your Plate. Check it out on our channel. The public panicked. Congress passed the Pure Food and Drug Act and the Meat Inspection Act. Federal inspectors were placed inside slaughterhouses. Stamps were created. The illusion of safety was built. And yet, over a century later, a package labeled beef could still contain horse meat. Over a century later, the system failed again. In 2013, Europe was shocked to find horse meat in their beef. The US had its own quiet version. But here is the part that should bother you even more. In 2016, 3 years after the first scandal, investigators found that horse meat could still be found in the US food supply. The same loopholes, the same unregulated plants, the same system that was supposed to have been fixed. A package labeled beef could still contain horse meat. Not in 1906, not in 2013. In 2016. Not because the technology failed, not because the inspectors were lazy, but because the system was never built to catch fraud. It was built to stop panic. Here is the part that should bother you. The horse meat scandal wasn't a one-time event. It was a symptom. In the US, we have had downer cows processed into ground beef. What are downer cows, you might ask? Downer cows, also called non-ambulatory cattle, are cows that are so sick, injured, or weak that they cannot stand up or walk on their own. We have had pink slime, ammonia-treated trimmings, sold to school lunch programs. We have had diseased poultry with tumors and infections still being sold as fresh. The labels change. The scandals change. But the system? It stays the same. So why does this keep happening? Because the system is reactive. It responds to public outrage, not to proactive oversight. When Europe was shocked, they changed their laws. When the US public is shocked, we promise change. But the moment the shock fades, the system returns to its baseline, and the baseline is profit. This matters to you because the meat you buy today is still processed under that same framework. The stamps have changed. The inspectors have changed. But the underlying philosophy, build a system that looks safe enough to keep consumers buying, has not changed. Let your body be part of the evidence. Pay attention to how you feel after you eat processed meat. Notice the inflammation. Notice the fatigue. Notice the brain fog. Not because you should assume the worst, but because you should be curious about what is actually on your plate. Be the CEO of your own health. Not because the system is evil, but because the system was built to calm you down, not to protect you. Today's facts can become tomorrow's fallacies. And the regulations we trust today, they were written in response to a panic over diseased meat over a century ago. This rabbit hole goes deeper than you think. So the next time you pick up a package of processed meat, ask yourself, is this food? Or is this the continuation of a system that was designed to make you feel safe, so you would keep buying? What else are we getting wrong right now? Stick around, the rabbit hole goes deeper.